Someone's asking about NVH on our Dogbone mount inserts. So we have a whole line of Dogbone mount inserts. We pioneered this product in aluminum. Before that, they were made from poly, and they would not last very long. Also, the poly wouldn't really do that much stiffening. So we found aluminum was a great material for this. We've been selling most of these inserts, like for the MQB and the earlier PQ35 cars and things like that, for a long time. This is a proven product. We've sold tens of thousands of them. They're in tens of thousands of cars around the world. There is some very, very slight NVH that's added in some of the applications, especially like the Mark 7 application with DSG. You can get a slight amount of NVH when the car is in reverse or when the car is stopped, and just as you accelerate and the clutches engage, you will get a slight amount of NVH. NVH is very much a perception, and it's different from person to person. Some people can withstand and enjoy tremendous amounts of NVH. Some people are bothered by even the slightest amount. I would say, generally speaking, if you're super concerned about NVH, you should probably not modify your car. And you should probably buy like an A8 or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, there's always compromises. We talk about this a lot. One thing, sorry, I was reading some comments here. I don't know if we touched on is improper installation is very easy on these. We try to make it as foolproof as possible, but it's still possible if that mount isn't lined up right. When you tighten it in, there's some hard plastic contact points in there.
There is.
And if things aren't lined up, or if it's really tweaked one way or the other, you can actually interfere with that with a metal to a hard plastic interface, and you'll get a lot more buzzing and vibration with that.
The other challenge is when you take the dog mount out, the motor just swings, right? It's just pendulums. And so what you don't want to do is torque the bolt through the center of this if the motor is really loaded up one way or the other, because that's going to tighten the mount in a compressed position, and that compressed rubber will transmit more NVH. So what you want is this to be tightened and located in a relatively neutral position. So you want to get everything back in place, get the bolt started, and then alleviate the weight off of the motor off of the mount, tighten the bolt, and tighten this in a relatively neutral position as much as possible.
Yeah, and they're pretty easy to, they literally kind of rock back and forth. It doesn't take much to move it around.
We do have very rare reports of excessive NVH, and it's almost always there's something like the plastic molding in the Dogbone mount is not like quite dimensionally correct. And if that plastic from the outside of the Dogbone puck is touching this, it will short circuit vibrations right through the mount. Normally vibration should go, up through the insert, through the rubber to the subframe, and then they'll be greatly dampened. But if you don't do that, you will get a lot of vibration transmitting directly through, and that's essentially called a short circuit.